there comes a time in every feminine's this twin flame journey where she realizes that she didn't stop believing in love. But what she realizes is that she stopped feeling safe enough to be able to receive it, safe enough to stay open for it to come into her reality. And over the last few weeks, and here on YouTube and in Rise and on my TikTok channel, I've been talking a lot about chakra. And this week I wanted to start diving into understanding the heart chakra. Because when we, as feminines, first awaken to our twin flame journey, when we meet our twin flame, our heart is wide open. And we have this ability to deeply feel the connection. And then we start recognizing that there's something sacred, something unique, and almost divine about the connection that we have with our beloved. And if many of you were honest with yourself and could even remember back as young as you can remember, that this is the kind of love that you have actually been searching for most of your life. I remember being 6, realizing that this was one incredible love that I wouldn't experience with anyone else. And when I found this, it was exactly what it was that I was looking for. But little did I know that this journey was going to highlight everything about me that I was unwilling and unwanting and not wanting to see about myself. And as our journeys unfold and we start navigating this path, whether we are in connection with our beloved or not, old wounds start to surface, like our abandonment, the rejection we had experienced, love that's inconsistent, emotionally unavailable partners. And these same patterns keep playing out. The patterns that we experience in childhood, the patterns that we've seen in other connections, the things that we've experienced in connection. And then within ourselves, things start to appear. And slowly, without realizing, we start to begin to close our heart. And we close our heart because we want to protect ourselves. And if what I am speaking about is really resonating, feels like I'm talking about your personal story, then this video is for you. And for those of you that are new here, I want to welcome you. My name is Melissa, and this is the Sacredness Within You. I created this platform to be able to help support feminines on this twin flame journey, to help rediscover the sacredness that is within us, so they can cultivate inner union, rise up to be the woman that they be in this lifetime, step into their purpose. And all of this increases our chances of landing reunion and to experience a union like we've never seen or experienced before in this lifetime. And so today, I want to start talking about the heart chakra, because over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about the lower chakras. I've been talking about cultivating our union, and I wanted to continue on this path about talking about the chakras and how it impacts your personal journey, but also how it impacts your twin flame connection and what you can do to ensure that you feel safe in having your heart chakra open so you can receive the love that you desire and to receive all that which you desire in life as well. So I first want to talk about the heart chakra and the role it plays in this journey. Because the heart chakra governs our emotional openness, our ability to be vulnerable, our ability to trust, to have compassion, intimacy, our ability to receive love, to give love, It's where we get to connect to ourselves. It's where our like feminine and masculine meet. It's where heaven on earth is. And it's our ability to forgive. And it's our energetic connection between the mind, the body, and the soul. And the heart chakra is not only about giving love, it's about our ability to feel safe in receiving it. Because if our heart has grief, sadness, or has experienced betrayal or rejection, and we haven't peeled back those layers, those emotions that our heart experience, that our body experience are going to still remain there. And many feminists struggle unconsciously with feeling safe enough to receive love. So for a lot of feminists, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Melissa, I deeply desire you. Like consciously, you are saying, I desire you. And I hear you. But if your heart learns that love leads to pain, that love leads to betrayal, it leads to abandonment, inconsistency, self-loss, fill in the blank, right? We all have our own story. Your nervous system, which is connected to your subconscious mind, will always be protecting you from the very things that you desire. And this is the word of the feminine. Because I know many of you are like, I desire it, but if your body, your nervous system doesn't feel safe, you will continue to reject all that you desire, including money, including success, including all that you desire, because your heart being open is what is required for your desire to actually manifest in your 3D reality. So let's talk about what a balanced heart chakra looks like. Because I know for some of us, we may not have experienced that, we haven't been able to witness that in someone else. Because if you're anything like me, you are the first. You are the first in all of your people that you're surrounded by to go through things. And when the feminine heart chakra is balanced, she doesn't chase after love. She doesn't fear losing love because she is available for love without abandoning herself. And that in itself is one of the biggest lessons us feminines are here to learn, is to be available for love without abandoning ourselves. And self-abandonment is so sneaky. And I've been doing this work for many years. And self-abandonment still pops up here and pops up there every once in a while. So when your heart chakra is balanced, you're going to feel safe being vulnerable. You're going to give and receive love openly and freely to those that are within your circle. You trust yourself. You communicate honestly. You communicate authentically. And you're not overprotecting your heart, thinking something bad is going to happen. When your heart chakra is balanced, you maintain boundaries without emotional walls, without energetic walls. You allow intimacy without collapsing into attachment. And you're able to remain connected to yourself, even while being triggered. And love gets to flow freely instead of being forced. Because when a heart chakra is balanced and you're able to embody all of this, it truly means that you are not living from survival. And we're living from a place of embodiment, which means we need to be embodied. And that requires us to be connected to our lower chakras. And if you're not connected to your lower chakras, if you're If you don't feel safe connecting to your body, I encourage you to check out my previous video on that, because we dive into that, and we'll be deep diving more into it in other areas of my offers. And the thing to remember is that many of us have never experienced love in this capacity before. So it's natural, it's normal for us to feel unsafe. It's not that you're broken, it's nothing that you need to fix. You need to let go of what is telling you otherwise. And because we've never experienced this and we've never seen anyone else experience this, it calls us to do deep inner work. So let's talk about what an unbalanced heart chakra looks like, one that is living out of alignment. Because when the heart chakra is wounded or closed, the feminine begins to start operating from protection, from survival versus openness. And her heart becomes closed because of her past. And when her heart is closed, she fears rejection. She fears abandonment. She's hyper independent. She's emotional and energetic walls. And when we have emotional walls up and we have energetic walls up, there isn't any space for our masculine to enter in. The difficulty trusting. She pulls away when intimacy deepens. She has anxiety within her life, within her connection. One of my personal favorites that I was so great at was overgiving for love. Proving that I needed to earn my love, performing for love. You have attachment to validation, where you're constantly seeking validation from instinct, validation from others. When your heart chakra is out of alignment, you'll be guarded. You'll hold resentment and grudges. And there'll be this deep fear of fully being seen for who you are. And you start confusing protection or safety. And when you're not feeling safe within your body, safe within your environment, it is reminding you to look at your root chakra. And if you're experiencing any of this, that is okay, because it's just an opportunity for you to bring awareness to what it is that you're experiencing or doing within your own personal journey, but not only that, within your connection. Because here's the thing is, your body will remember every heartbreak. Your nervous system remembers every disappointment that you've experienced. And if these wounds are unhealed, you will unconsciously close your heart, and you won't be able to fully receive what it is that you desire. And if you were to look back at your journey, whether it has to do with love or whether it's money, success, working out, eating healthy, you pick one area. Notice that you'll go from one extreme to the next and come into the middle. So with love, for example, the beginning of our journey, you're completely wide open. Your heart is open. You're so full of love yourself. And then as you start navigating this journey, your heart and your body start to remember the past experiences, and it starts to close. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your journey is highlighting these things. It's magnifying it so you can no longer deny. And then your heart chakra starts to close. So then you become guarded, which is why the masculine goes away sometimes. And you go through these two extremes so you can come back to the middle. So you can find your truth. You can embody what that feels like to have an open heart. Embody what that feels like to feel safe within fully being seen, to fully being received, to fully receiving love as well. And here's the good thing is I know many of you, such as myself, have never experienced some of this before with experiencing safe spaces to be vulnerable, to be able to trust yourself fully, to experience the openness and the connection that you get through very healthy dynamics. But here's the thing that I've learned on my own journey is people will come into your life to teach you those things, to help you experience those things. So when the opportunity arises within your connection, you've done all the work to be able to take the step, to be able to fully receive that which you are wanting to receive within your connection. So I want to give you a personal example. For me, it was really hard to fully trust receiving and giving love unconditionally because I didn't trust it because of the fear of being rejected, my fear of abandonment, insecurity, all of it. And my soul and God orchestrated for me to have friendships that got to teach me this. Friendships where I was truly loved for me. I remember one of my best friends telling me, it is so easy to love you. You make it so easy. And I stopped and I was like, what? I remember this day I was sitting at her kitchen table and she was in her living room and I was like, wait, what? Say that again? She goes, yeah, you make it so easy to love you. And I said, no one has ever. And through this friendship and through other friendships, I got to learn that it's safe to be vulnerable in the right environment. It is safe to live with my heart wide open, to receive love, to fully give love freely for the very first time in my life. So then our ultimate quote unquote test comes from our twins. And we get to learn and see and get feedback and information on, are we living in alignment still? What are some areas that we need to continue to work on? Not because we're broken and not because we need to fix anything, but because we're not in alignment with who we're meant to be. So let's dive into talking about how a closed heart, chakra impacts your connection. Because as I mentioned before, this journey magnifies whatever is unresolved within you. Your insecurities, your jealousy, your inability to choose yourself, your abundance issues, whatever it may be, your twin flame is going to magnify, shine like a huge spotlight on those parts of you. So when you close your heart, the connection often begins reflecting back to you. And what I mean by this, there'll be emotional distance between you and your twin flame. You'll have mixed signals, where one day they're all about you, the next day they're not. You'll be all about them, then the next day you're not. There'll be triggering cycles, repeated patterns and looping. You'll have the inability to fully receive your masculine. And I used to often think when I used to years ago be able to connect with my twin flame often, I always wondered why I could only see him for 2 hours. And I started realizing because that was what my body was saying was safe. That was enough. You have to remember too that, I don't know why this is coming to me, but too much of a good thing can make your body feel unsafe when it hasn't done the work to be able to fully receive that for an extended period of time. Which is why just coming into inner union, a titration process has to happen for 3D unions as well. It's just not going to be overnight. All of a sudden, poof, you're in relationship with them. It takes time. We have to remember too that we're unlearning and unraveling how we used to do relationships. And we start learning from our past mistakes. We start realizing that we have to do things differently. Because when you have a closed heart chakra, you're also going to excuse me, have difficulty surrendering. You're going to try to control outcomes within your life, within your connection. You control everything. And if your body is constantly under stress and tension, another sign I've learned that your heart chakra is closed. You'll obsess over the connection instead of embodying, and you will continue to repeat abandonment within your connection and within yourself, because the connection can only meet you to the depth in which you are truly available for. I want you to think about that for a moment. The connection can only meet you in the depth in which you are truly available for. Which means if you're only able to receive 20% love, that's all that you're going to get is 20% of love from your twin flame. If you can fully receive the love from your twin, you'll fully be able to receive them, which means that they would be in your reality. And I think oftentimes the masculine gets kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He is kind of viewed as a bad guy, right? Because, oh, he's not doing this or he's not doing that. We have to remember that there's two of us in this connection, that us as feminists have a role in things as well. And I think a lot of feminines lack to acknowledge how big of a role we actually play, because you are ultimately in control of when union happens, or if it is even going to happen. And yes, your twin flame has free will. And that's a whole another topic for another time. But it's important for us as feminine to realize what kind of role we play. So let's talk about why the heart chakra needs to be open for union to land in the 3D. Because many of you are trying to guess at what it takes to cultivate union within yourself, let alone trying to figure out like what it takes to require to land 3D union. And then there's others of you that are trying to bypass inner union and just go to 3D union. And you can't put the heart before the horse. You have to, it goes inner union first and then 3D union. And before 3D union also occurs, you have to be fulfilling part of your purpose. Stepping into how you are here to serve humanity. Because many of you are trying to manifest your twin flame. I was once there. But you're trying to manifest your twin flame from survival. You're trying to manifest your twin flame from a closed heart. Or some of you are thinking, if I only heal my inner masculine, then my masculine is going to come forward. And there are some of you that are just like trying to think, if the more that you could understand this connection, maybe 3D will occur. And then there's others of you that are waiting for divine timing. Divine timing, if you're waiting for divine timing, you're always going to be waiting. Because divine timing actually calls you to be who you are meant to be for a 3D union to occur. But here's the biggest thing, is the union cannot fully anchor into your physical reality if you feel unsafe in receiving love. And I know as many of you are saying, but Melissa, I desire union. And I hear you. I really do, because I used to think that as well. I used to think, I want union. I want union. I want union. I want union. But that was from my conscious brain. And when I started realizing that my subconscious brain, which is connected to my nervous system, is running 95% of my reality, I had to realize that there was a part of my subconscious brain that wasn't wanting union. And I had to be able to look at that. Because an open heart is where we get to experience heaven on earth. And having an open heart doesn't mean that you're naive, that you tolerate misalignment, mistreatment, or that you self-abandon. It's actually the opposite. An open heart is what allows, it's like a beacon of light, what allows and attracts all your desires to come in. Because I remember one day, this was like a couple of years ago, I was meditating And I had received this message that when my heart is closed, my energy is really close to me. And when your heart is closed, it's most likely you're from survival and moving out of fear, which means then things can come in really close to me. And I started realizing too that when I was living from this fear, I'm going to have all these other people that are living in fear-based energies as well be around me. And then I realized when my heart is open, my energy field expands out even more. And it creates space for that which is meant to come in. And the people, the places, the experiences, everything that is meant for me to experience from that space allows, when my body feels safe, it will allow it to come in and feel safe. And like literally a week later, I personally was having an energy healing session with someone, and they had told me that exact same thing. And I was like, all right, I hear you loud and clear, because as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, when our heart and our mind are connected, we are in coherence. And that is where we get to live from, knowing and trusting in what it is that our heart is going to provide us, and trust in those desires that our heart wants us to experience. Because I truly believe what desires come through you, what are on your heart, are things that you're here to experience in this lifetime. Because when your heart is open, your nervous system is regulated. You are grounded. You are connected to your truth, to discernment, embodiment, and you are highly self-devoted. Because here's what I want to remind you, is that our heart chakra acts like a bridge between the spiritual world and our physical reality. And embodiment, being in our bodies, is which allows us to have soul level connections that feel safe, that allow us to be inside our body and to experience these things in our 3D reality. So let's start diving into how we can begin healing the heart chakra, because this is such a critical piece in our journey. To heal our heart chakra, it's first going to call us to stop abandoning ourselves for love. So where is it that you're abandoning yourself for love? Because the more that you abandon yourself, the more your heart starts to associate love with losing things, with losing yourself. You remember, people only abandon themselves because it's a reflection of how we're abandoning ourselves. And healing the heart chakra truly begins when you can start learning that you can love deeply without leaving yourself. So it's important for you to start learning, how do you abandon yourself for love? And to start understanding your own patterns. And if you're needing to understand your patterns, check out my other video on patterns, because I talk about these common patterns, why we create them, why we protect them, and what you can do to stop looping in them. Next, allow yourself to feel. Your heart closes when emotions feel like they're needing to be suppressed. The grief, the sadness, the disappointment, the anger, the longing. These emotions need to move through the body and to release them instead of being trapped, because that grief is going to block you from opening your heart. It's going to block you from receiving love. Next is healing the nervous system. The body can only, or if the body perceives love to feel unsafe, the heart will automatically protect itself. It will put up an energetic wall, an emotional wall, to say, no, there's nothing coming in. This is why nervous system healing is important on this journey. So like doing breath work, grounding, embodiment practice, somatic movement, engaging in nature, walking slowly, putting your hand over your heart to connect to your body, to connect to your heart, are all things to help heal your nervous system. And if you are caught in fight or flight, I just learned this practice the other day, and I want to share it with you because in literally 2 days, it has helped me reduce the amount of stress that I feel in my body. And it's simply breathing. And what I mean by that is you're going to spend 30 minutes lying down in a comfortable place. Put a book on your belly because that helps you feel the movement of the book go up and down. But it also is helping support you fill your belly with air. And you're going to breathe in and out through your nose and allow your breath to be able to help you relax, to come back to the present moment. And if you can't do 30 minutes, then start with 10 minutes and then increase over time. But once you've been doing this for like 8 to 10 hours, you should be out of that survival mode and your body should be less stressed. The fourth thing is to reconnect to self-intimacy. Many of us have a very limited definition of what intimacy means. And the more that you can connect to yourself, the less you're going to need connection and emotional fulfillment from others. So practices that you can do include mirror work, self-touch, journal, heart-centered meditation, and devotional like self-care rituals. Like one of the things that I do frequently is my gua sha or my cupping. I do it because it's a devotion, it's a ritual for me. It allows my skin to receive and for my actual like fascia to release trapped emotions as well. So not only have I have this amazing ritual for self-care, but not only that, I'm working on helping regulate my nervous system as well. Next, number 5 is practice receiving. Many of you are amazing at giving love, but some of you are terrible at receiving it. And the only reason I know is because I was once that. I was once so afraid to receive it. So I encourage you to look at practices to help you receive. Receiving compliments of when somebody says, "Hey, I like your dress. Your hair looks amazing." Simply receive that and say thank you. Practice receiving support. Where is it that you need support? Maybe you're needing support on your twin flame journey. And this is an opportunity for you to practice receiving. Receive rest. You don't have to earn rest. Receive softness. Receive without guilt or without shaming yourself. And by practicing these things in micro doses, over time, you're going to be able to live with your heart open. Because here's the thing. Your heart was never meant to become hardened in order for you to survive love. Love isn't meant to be survived. Love is meant to be felt, to be embodied. It's an experience. Because this journey isn't asking you to stop loving. This journey isn't asking you to close down. It is teaching you how to remain open without abandoning yourself. Because true union is not created through chasing, forcing, or proving your worth. It's created when love finally feels safe enough to live inside of you, to live inside of your body. And if this is resonating with you, I'd love to hear what part of this spoke to your heart by dropping a comment down below. And if you're feeling called to do some work around healing your heart chakra, your nervous system, to feel emotional safety within your journey, then I have deeper resources for you, like one-on-one healing sessions where we can explore all the ways in which your heart chakra is blocked and start clearing some of the impacts that it has on you and it has in your connection. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe, like, and share because If you're wanting more grounded, embodied teachings to help support your twin flame journey, I try to drop a video every single Friday that's going to help you align to the version of you that is you're here to experience in this lifetime, to bring healing for you and to cultivate that inner union within you. And so, my friends, as always, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be walking this path with you and to be on this path and to share with you all that it is that I've learned. And so I'm sending you all so much love and light, and I'll connect with you in the next video. Thanks so much, friends.